Hello everyone, this is part number 3 of our Guns Purifier playthrough. At the last episode we deal with Cronley and Altar Kovia Elders. In this episode we're gonna try to clear left part of Homestead and Pine Barrens questline. I'm not sure if I have enough time to do it, but build it's actually pretty fast. I'm gonna craft myself scaled hide. I need a little better armor absorption. At the moment I have to sacrifice a little bit of damage so I can put ether resistance. I'm gonna need them for the next fight. That's gonna help. At 50, not ideal, but this is best I can do at the moment. Soon enough I'm gonna grab Steel Resolve. That's gonna help me. I'm gonna check my devotions. I have 2 points. I need purple. I'm gonna grab Told for that. This is a pretty nice devotion, especially I'm gonna fight a lot of beasts soon enough. It's gonna help me with the damage. We have few pieces of gear that have to be changed at some point. Around level 35-40 I can farm for a better pants. I have to be extremely careful here. These guys deal tons of vitality damage. My vitality resistance at the moment's kinda bad. I don't have any crystals, which is very strange. At this point usually I have few, so I can replace my ring components for a better vitality resistance. I have my Inquisitor seal if things get spicy. For example, it's good to use it now. Dahlia didn't make it, unfortunately. Brimstone shoulder guards, that's a fire generic, but my MI is astronomically better. This is another point in Toad. That spirit and offensive ability is quite nice. Usually devotion that provide flat stats early on is pretty good. That's gonna help me equip my rings and amulets without so much investing in spirit. Later on we're gonna dump a lot because we're gonna be elemental gunner. Damage at this point is pretty good. Another 3 points in the seal. This is gonna be bread and butter of the build. Especially if sealed scarred cap, like 22 out of 12, provides bonus to the absorption. And my aim is to find plus 10 on top somehow through gear or mainly through gear. There is no other way. You know, damage is pretty good when these tanky mobs, they get melt. We got a lot of hero spawns here. That's usually very unusual. Usually I got one hero or two, but I already fight 6 or 7. Have to go back. Take Ulgrim and rest of the refugees.
So how doomed good work.
This is one of the few times he's gonna tell you good work. Usually he's pretty salty. Very ungrateful. Our best friend in this town, Redden, he's gonna sell to us a lot of good stuff. Actually, this ring was elemental based, no, poison. Not interested. I think I can sell Marauder's Fury. It's at this point this set is no go. We got Lightning Ointment, Cold. That's a good thing. Mark of the Traveler. I'm gonna leave it like this. Gonna check the lore notes. There is a quite few here. It's a free chunk of experience. And time for one of my favorite areas. I love left part of Homestead. It's like a power-up act. Comes with devotion points, a very good ring, and very easy quests, also very rewardable. And on top of that, these swarms of insect, they give a lot of experience. Density here is pretty huge. Every single thing here gives experience. Especially the Royal Hive, there is 2 guaranteed heroes and 2 optional spawns as well. There is a lot of abandoned farms here. where you can find a corpse with a secret treasure. One of the farmers managed to hide all of his wealth before he dies. Usually I don't look for this quest, it's quite annoying. But as a gunner I want every single piece of experience that I can get. So probably I'm gonna put some effort to find this corpse. This is one of the locations. That's sweet. Immediately why I go for immediately max Inquisitor Seal. This is my only format sustain apart from my life leech or attack damage convert to health, like it called in this game. There is a devotion shrine that I miss. It's good to take it. I miss it in search for the corpse. You can see how interactive Grim Dawn is. I can destroy this part of this wooden wall, which is very few RPGs make such an interactive world. This is, I think, the other spawn location, not completely sure though. This is for sure one of the locations, and here is the hidden world. You need the node to trigger the quest. It's a little bit a drag until you find the corpse, but usually it's worth it. The treasure itself is shit, but experience from the quests pretty high. Here is another quest that I want. Basically you have to take south from the rift. There is a little girl trapped in cave by her family, cause she is possessed by one of the high demons. You have to save one dynamite for this quest. You have to be sure you have. If you don't have any dynamites, you can craft them at Homestead. This is the first blacksmith that can craft dynamite during the storyline. There is two outcomes in this quest. You can release her and she's gonna kill all the villagers. I prefer to kill her here, just to not. Usually it's not waste of time, but Balok Nut, he deals mostly fire damage and partially chaos, but he is not scary at all. But the quest is very rewardable, comes with tons of experience and blood of Chthon, which is the rarest material in the game. Every single quest that rewards this, it's totally worth it. There is another encounter here. It's just a random encounter. It's not related to any quest or stuff. But it's quite fun. When you come here, you have to fight tons of harpies. There is a chance for a hero spawn. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes not. This time I got 2, which is very lucky. There is a one-shot chest and a Waltz note. You can read it. Basically, he explained that they try to find a new home for themselves. And he thinks this is a birds, but this actually harpies. And the whole camp got murdered by them. Thankfully, I am well prepared. There is a chest. That's a good chunk of iron bits. We're gonna need a lot. I have to buy a lot of blueprints from the respected level, which gonna broke me significantly. I'm gonna buy only stuff that I need at the moment. When you play Soul Found or a fresh league start, because league's gonna start soon. At the moment there is a test patch and some of the top players and developers test the stuff. So if you're not aware, stay tuned. League is an extremely good GRIMTOOLS version of the game. I think it's even better than the vanilla game. Boys did amazing job. Here is the Royal Hive. There is a secret area. We look for the second hole, not the first one. But I'm gonna do a little bit of clear. We got a powerful Inquisitor seal at this point. So I can face tank most of the campaign without any struggle. This is the worst thing that can happen to a attacking class, auto-attacking class I mean, it's slow. We have to be sure we got good slow resistance from a different sources. Because if you get slow, this affects your damage significantly. This corpse here is more like a one-shot chest. The loot from it is pretty good for most part. Sometimes it's terrible, but it's worth trying. Let's see how our old friend goes. His ring worked very well with the build. Me personally, I prefer much more offensive type of rings. This is more like a defensive ring. As an implicit, if it throws double attack prefix suffix, is gonna worth it, but I doubt it. So Inquisitor Seal at this point, it's pretty powerful. I can face tank most of the stuff. It's not fully necessary for me to reposition, which saves a lot of time. I think I have maxed out at this point. And from now on, next 6 points gonna be huge. I can retrieve all the crossroads as well, just which actually I'm gonna do. I have very tough boss fights in the next couple of minutes. Also I have to sell some stuff. My pants pretty old date. Have to look for something different. I'm gonna keep this. It's a very good generic pants. Comes with damage to beasts, avoid melee attacks and ether resistance. This for now is better than mine. This armor is no go. Caster gloves, not my thing. Very low roll on the percentages. So for now, we're gonna do this. That shard is terrible. Bad belt. We got room carved alacrity. This attack speed. Actually, it's not bad at all. This one looks promising. Better than Cronley's Signet, I think. But requires level 35. Maybe I can find a better stuff. Who knows? Let's change the movement. Very good idea to check your armor ratings. As you can see, your legs absorb close to 300. Not exactly, because my armor absorption is 84. But you can see my armor falls off. I have to change the gloves. They are triple less than my pants. Which means these gloves is a pretty outdated. They are already 15 levels behind. This is a very important thing in hardcore. Always check your pieces. Boots okay, shoulder guards okay. Casks kinda fine, because after all we play gunner, we don't play tank. But at this point, gloves definitely no go. Now we have... Actually, I have to keep purple. Now we got good chunk of offensive ability and movement speed, which is always nice. But the things that we're looking for is complete Hydra for all the attack speed and goodies. It's a must-have gunner devotion. If you play 200 guns, you have to take Kraken as well. A lot of people did that mistake. They think Kraken is a melee devotion, but it's not. It works with 200 guns as well. Crossbows, that type of weapons. Never ignore Kraken if you play a two-hand build. We have to find the other Vizier. Here it is. He's a fire-based. Absolutely no problem. The other one is a little bit more tankier. Ideally, I like to be around level 30 when I face the Queen, because she's much higher level, which means that's a lot of chance for her to crit on me, especially on a squishy class. It's good to kill the ads. I don't want to face her with all these ads. First phase, she's a stationary. Not much. We can shoot the bang from distance. Inquisitor's Heel works very well against pulse because it absorbs basically a lot of the dot damage, which make it not the best, but one of the best sustains in the game. We're gonna reposition. I don't want to get hit by the meteors. Pretty clean kill, I would say. Let's check the treasure room. Usually it's completely garbage, but I am very poor as well. That's probably a better gloves in previous of scorched ends. My main problem is at the moment I don't want to sacrifice vitality and ether resistance. These gloves pretty good, I would say, but at this moment I'm stick to the resistances. We got a totem. At this point I can farm any totem very safely, thanks to the Inquisitor Seal. Which is a good thing. This is not bad tank boots. Unfortunately, I'm not tank. At this point, I prefer to build this build more offensively, because sometimes the best defense is offense. So if I kill stuff quick, I'm not gonna take so much damage at all. Especially with the changes when they add the dodge button. Gunners perform very well. Before these changes, Gunners was a little bit buttery, because you have to walk and rely just on a normal movement ability, but having a actual invulnerable dodge ability makes Gunners significantly better as a class. That's why I'm going to test. Actually, my last league starter was a Gunner, and it performs very well. I managed to clear almost the whole league with it. it's good to place your Inquisitor Seals on the clear area, not on top of the ether ground. But usually this is a pretty easy fight for this build. I can keep distance, I can fence tank thanks to the seal. 1 point, that's gonna be max out, and I'm gonna progress the mastery. As I explained almost in every single episode, progressing mastery gives you more than, for example, if I'm gonna max out bursting rounds, ranged expertise, chilling rounds, I'm gonna end up in a very low stats, and this is not ideal. We're going to need a little bit more dynamite for the rest of the pack, so I'm gonna craft some. We don't have any shards, that's okay, I'm gonna craft them. Not gonna spend all my wealth, but it's good to have at least 5 dynamites all the time when you have free time to craft. This is not bad generic shoulder guards, but I prefer my explosive strikes ones. Which reminds me I have to refarm this at some point.
There was much I see my scouts have reported.
Just the person. There are 2 other.
I'm elemental build, so stick with the Caiman's Chosen is a wise idea. They have most of their stuffs elemental stuffs, and the augments as well. We're gonna bring back the quests. Gonna spoke with Douglas. And I'm gonna check my homestead status. I'm pretty close. I think Pine Barrens gonna give me what I need. Let's pick up this gear. This is money. We have to port to Prospector Trail. Actually, I didn't. I'm gonna take my I forgot to retrieve my attribute point for Minerva. That's a level up as well. And I'm gonna dump all in the mastery. I need Steel Resolve, I need Storm Spread, and the most important, I need Aura of Sensor. After that I can work on my demo. Let's dump physique. We have to check what cunning requirement we have for the next gun. We are pretty close. We can use solar guns from the homestead soon. And we have to vendor farm hand mortar. $35 is a huge power spike for gunners. You got all the devotions that you need to start scale, and on top of that you got all the augments and components, and that's what we're looking for. It's a pretty expensive 3 dynamites, but totally worth it. This area is full of good quests and basically a reputation to the homestead, which I need. I need their boots. and I need their guns for the next phase of the game. Here is the camp. If you master this walk attack that I usually use, you're gonna speed up your campaign clear pretty fast. You don't have to clear the whole areas. Unfortunately, gunner need a lot of experience because it scales differently. Compared to other builds that use one powerful attack and clear everything in line, and after that they use another powerful attack. This build is more like auto-attacking builds. So unlocking better guns and better equipment in general, it's much more important to this guy, especially speed. Gunners scale with speed. I saw a lot of wrong builds, beginner builds as well. People stuck some different stuff. That's not very useful. Important thing for this build is to crit. That's how I keep my deadly aim active. Inquisitor without deadly aim is basically trolling. If you can't crit, you lost a lot of killing potential that class provides. No problems at all. Inquisitor's here at this point, it's absolutely lifesaver. We got totem. This is basically a very good boost to my reputation. Unfortunately, it's a shambler. I want to avoid the boulder. Nothing useful for me, I believe. Pretty bad roll on the belt. Tongue gloves. Actually, a very good gun. I can replace one of the guns straight away. And I think my left one is a bad one because the component. But I have to double check. This is Scorching. This is Enchanters. Yeah, definitely. It shows this one is a worse one. That's gonna slightly boost my damage. I don't mind it. We lost 2 to Fire Strike, but that's okay. Fire Strike. This is basically the single target portion of the damage. And we don't bossing that much. So I can leave it like it is for now and max it later when we got farming routes and stuff. But at this point of the game, keep it as a 1 point, it's totally enough. I focus on clear speed, not on single target. That's another mistake that most of the players did. They focus on a single target. But maxing Fire Strike at this point gives me nothing. I don't care that much about single target kills. I prefer clearing. And these 12 points that I'm gonna put in Fire Strike just to get slightly better single target damage is totally no go. There is a few guaranteed chests here. All of them bad, but iron bit's quite nice. I have a crafting session at 35. Briar Thorn is usually not very deadly. Let's get rid of the big spider. I love this quest line. It gives a lot of stuff on the table, like a lot of bee skills, a lot of reputation, and 2 devotion shrines. And we scale a lot better with devotions than most of the classes. Especially now when elemental damage is considered meta. All builds that's on the top are elemental builds, either cold, fire or lighting. All other damage types are a little bit far behind, but at the moment elemental damage performs pretty well. And honestly it's most fun to play. For example, my last playthrough was kinda boring. At the very end I was so bored. But this one I enjoy a lot. Especially when I start to unlock its full potential. Finally Steel Resolve. That's a very good passive. That comes with bonus damage to Tonics, Eldritch, and Chaos and Ether resistance, which is one of the rarest resistance in the game. That's gonna give me slightly better chance to survive. Next 2 points in Hydra usually is very huge. We going... Actually, I'm gonna pick the damage. Attack speed, movement speed. Gunners are naturally faster in a walking speed. Chaos Hydra provides max movement speed. That's gonna help me speed up the campaign. At this point, even with these low level guns, we just delete everything immediately. Even these tanking mobs, they don't stand any chance. Just be sure you take down the healers. In this area is quite annoying. There is a guaranteed dynamite. This fortress comes with a lot of chests and poppables. Be sure you collect as much as you can. As I say, 35 comes with crafting session or early 40s, so I'm gonna need a lot of bits. We have to craft middle game components as well, like runestone and different stuff like this. Sanctified bone. Here is a very important to kill all the odds. You don't want some lonely shaman to heal your boss, which is usually a very bad guy. Also there is a spikes on the floor. Be aware of the traps. But in general he doesn't hurt very much. He is pretty tanky, but this is the nature of this boss. That's another 2 dynamites. Respected with Homestead, that's what we're looking for. Now we're looking for level 35. We got all of them. That's friendly with Black Legion. Good stuff. Another progression in mastery. A little bit of shopping. Probably I'm gonna end up the episode here.
Come see what's left of my wares.
That's actually not bad at all. Comes with +4 to steel resolve. Rest of the stuff's pretty garbage.
See you around.
I'm gonna just check. Yeah, boost significantly my... I'm gonna keep it for now. Probably I'm not gonna use it, but it's always nice to have options.
See what's left of my wares.
This is another good belt. This is one to demo. Offensive ability, this is a pretty good find, but no resistances. That's gonna hurt. I don't want to lose fire resistance, not ready for that.
See you
It's time to swap this frozen heart for a better vitality resistance. We're gonna fight cultists and stuff in the next act. Ideally I want this in a better level.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Let's bring the all rare materials. This is a very good habit when you play hardcore. I don't plan to die, but still. It's good to keep your, for example, at least one mark of the traveler. Ancient armor plate is a rare. Spined carapace, all of the rest is a tuned lodestone. It's a rare as well. That brain, just generic stuff. I have enough dynamite to start my secret path quest. I'm gonna just take it a shot. Let's see if I can get at least for now, a better pants. Never attempt this boss fight with bad poison resistance. You need to be capped. This area comes with tons of damage. Especially with this poisonous. Actually, this is the worst mod you can get here. This area is full of poison, and this poisonous mutator makes them deal significantly more damage, which means I have to be careful, especially when I face the boss. Boss is level 39. It's a very squishy boss, but can dish out a lot of damage if you are not be careful. What we got? Actually, this better fix my vitality. I think elemental resistance. I can check this belt. Now I can equip it. This pants helps me to change the belt for a little bit more offensive one. My head slot is open, but my idea is to craft runestone, which I can buy, if I'm not mistaken, from
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Vengeful Raid. We need that. That relic is no go. Mark of Mudrogan, I don't need it, but the runestone and Restless Remain is the good stuff.
See you around.
Now finally I can craft some mid-game components, which gonna help my build a lot. A runestone that early, it's not so expensive as well. That's why it's very important you to have around 40-50 crystals before you start Act 2. Because as you can see, 2 crafting session and I got left just with 15. Also you need them to retrieve some devotion points and stuff. At this point, that changes at the belt allows me to sacrifice. Actually, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna try to buy a potion from Messiah Redden for the next stage of the game, because I don't want to sacrifice that much damage.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
So we got a ethereal ointment, probably few refreshes, and I can get a chaos one or 2. That's gonna cover my resistances. Never be afraid to use ointments. That's never a bad thing, especially when you got chaos damage just in the next like an hour or so. That's why I like to keep Messiah Redden alive.
Come see what's left of my wares. Put it to good
I'm not
use.
gonna waste time of refreshing this. I'm gonna leave it like this. We need 2 devotion points to finish Hydra. After that we have to rush Rover's Crown for this insanely good proc Elemental Storm. That's gonna boost my damage to the roof. It comes with a lot of dot damage, elemental damage and flat resistance shred. At the moment I take Rovery Crown, I already probably gonna get my Aura of Sensor as well. That's gonna be another boost to my elemental damage. My idea is to follow a softcore elite type of devotion path. Basically, the path that I'm using is not mine. This is Matt Lee Dagalon Purifier devotion path. Probably I'm gonna list his endgame build at the end when I finish the series, because I think his build is the optimal for this class. Matt Lee, it's a very good Grimdam builder. I think he's one of the best. The only problem is he plays softcore, so most of his builds are considered for a softcore gameplay, not a hardcore. But I think this his Purifier Devotion tree I can use. And I can try to level with a little bit more offensive playstyle, just to show the other side of the game. Usually I play mostly tanks. I can play everything. I have 2000 hours in this game. And my idea of all of this series is to show different type of playstyle and how to scale basically tanks, casters, melee builds, CDR casters, dot casters. There is a variety in this game. At my best, I'm gonna try to show all of this. For now we play dual wield gunner, and this is all of this episode. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.